All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to all you Wakim out there who pushing this word with truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believing on the gospel. And it's the brother Quara Abad from the GMS Houston camp. And I want to go into, another lesson. Just doing a little meditating, last night, which we still in the, the Passover, right? Which the Passover itself, as far as, the ceremony last night, that will be done with sundown today, which today is Sunday. Right, March 24th. So the Passover will be over today sundown, as well as the Sabbath. But the Feast of Unleavened Bread will continue, about 6 more days. But nevertheless, just sitting here meditating, on the events that took place last night, in the spirit of the Passover, the spirit of the brothers, and it was beautiful, which every Passover, hold its own significance. But as brothers were saying last night, out here in Houston, once we was done with it, this one felt different. This one it felt different, man. Brothers was even after the ceremony, we just kind of talked, just chopped it up. But brothers opened up, brothers opened up. I want to, express themselves to each other, and from there, man, it was amazing. But nevertheless, the conclusion that hit all of us like, if this is the last Passover, it feel like it, it very well feel like it, man, if it is, you see. And the thing is, and like I said, I ain't really got nothing planned in this lesson. I just kind of, want to get some thoughts off. But the thing is, if it could very well be the last Passover when you consider these things, man, right? Because we don't have long or a lot that we waiting on to be fulfilled. It's not a lot of prophecies left. It's a few important prophecies that we waiting on. You got the MOTB, which that's in mainstream media. That's ready, set, go. All right, you got the missiles that's going to be shot in World War III. Look, they in the silos. That's ready, set, go, man. And all hell is ready to break loose. You got immigrants flooding America, Americans hating Americans. You see, Egyptian against Egyptian, the kingdom divided. So everything is set in place to happen. And the show, or to kind of give an example on how this could very well be our last Passover, is that it's different in times past, because in times past, things wasn't ready as it is now. The MOTB wasn't at the stage of where it's at now. For example, you didn't have each country pushing a CBDC, right, working on interoperability for cross-border payments. You see, you ain't have America being forced in a war by Israel, right? Moving closer to Russia, and Russia talking they stuff now, gathering nations, right? The point is, everything is happening now. It's different. You see? And the example that I want to use is us back in Egypt. Look, when Moses first went to Pharaoh, and I'm just kind of, talking, I get a precept here in a few. I just got one on my mind, 2nd Esdras 14. How look, things gonna speed up and worse things gonna happen from here on out, right? But to get an example to show, look, this could very well be the last Passover, and we can be out of here either in a year's time or even within a year, man. Not saying, just within the year of 2024, but before next Passover come, we could very well be out of here. And why I say that is because when Moses went to Pharaoh, and by the time we left Egypt, that wasn't more than 2 years. That wasn't more than 1 year. You see? And what proved that is Moses' age. Moses' age, it said Moses went to Pharaoh at 80 years old. And he died at 120. And how long was in the wilderness? For 40 years. So if Moses went to Pharaoh at 80 years old, and then once we left, we was in the wilderness for 40 years, and he died at 120, showing that time he went to Pharaoh, that couldn't have been more than a year. Couldn't have been more than a year. And that's, just, quick math, example right there. But also every plague wasn't long either. Some plagues was a day, some plagues was a couple days, right? Some plagues linger longer than others. But the point was, once the Lord started sending down real life physical judgments, things started moving faster, man. After they ate the Passover. So the same predicament we in right now, man, seeing everything is ready. We just ate the Passover, honored Yahushua, his sacrifice, right? And like the scriptures say, being covered. Now it's likened unto, look, the Lord could bring that judgment now, man. Things could speed up. And he was told, look, in the times of the end, it was going to speed up, man. So from here on out, look for things to happen. But let's get some precepts. I've been kind of talking a little too long. Let's let the scripture speak. So this 2nd Esdras 14, and I'm going to read it in a GNT version. This 2nd Esdras 14, now what the Lord was telling Ezra right here, which Ezra in the Old Testament, the priest Ezra, right, in the Apocrypha, Esdras is the same person. Esdras is the Greek way of saying Ezra, right? Now, Ezra, he was, asking the Lord when we was going to be done in captivity, when the way of things as the world is now going to be done with, and Israel going to rule. Well, the Lord was telling him, look, Ezra, you close to the end. And I mind you, this is like what? Roughly 400-something BC that Ezra lived in. And he was told he was close to the end of the world. The point is, we, thousands of years later, how close are we, man? But let's see what the angel told Ezra, seeing he was almost to the end. So these things even hold weight to us today. But in 2nd Esdras chapter 13, Salakia, 2nd Esdras chapter 14, and I'm going to start at verse 10. And it's the GNT. It says, the world is no longer young. It is rapidly approaching old age. The whole history of the world is divided into 12 periods. And the 10th period has already arrived. So Ezra was in the 10th period. It says, and it is half over, 10 and a half part. And I mind you, he was 400 years roughly before Yahushua was even born. And he was in a 10 and a half part of the world history that the Most High had laid out. So seeing we thousands of years down the line, where could we be? It's clear we're at the end of the 12th part, man. We're at the end of the world. Things are about to happen. When you go to the movies or, Netflix, in movies, what's usually the most action-packed part? Got the best scenes, with the explosives and all this, the end of the movie. That's where we at right now, man. And a producer about to do his thing. That's the Lord. But let's finish this. It says, and it is half over, only 2.5 parts remain. It says, so therefore set your house in order. And that's the first thing, us first and foremost as an individual, right? Making sure we're on point. But even if we have, a wife, children as well, going into the times that we're about to approach into. So it says, so set your house in order, warn your people, right? Letting our people know what's coming down the pike soon. It says, warn your people and comfort those who are humble and teach those who are wise. Then say goodbye to this mortal life. And we ready to get out of here, man. It says, say goodbye to this mortal life. Put earthly cares away from you. Throw down your human burdens and lay aside your weak human nature. And that's the mindset we got to be in. From here on out, we shouldn't care about the same things these people in the world care about, man. We shouldn't have the same comforts of the comforts these people go out into this world and seek, man. The same pleasures. We shouldn't have the same cares of this world, right? What these people let bother them shouldn't bother us, And granted, certain things we got to endure. It don't feel good. But still, at the end of the day, we got the truth. And we know, we at the end, like Moses. Moses coming to mind. It says he rather suffer with his people than to enjoy pleasures of sin for a season in Egypt. Because he knew what he was going to receive serving the Lord was going to be greater than what he could enjoy for the little short time that Egypt had left to rule anyway. And then whatever he would have enjoyed probably would have led him to sin and further away from the Most High. So he ain't care about that, man. He ain't care about the riches or, the glitz and the glamour that Egypt had promised. With them Egyptians and all them people who was caught up in that world, what they cared about, he separated from it. The same mindset we have today, man. So it says, put all your anxieties aside and get ready to leave this world quickly. And it's the part I wanted. It says, you have seen many evil things already, right? We've seen many evil things already, right? We got the documents from world history, things that's been recorded, right? Transatlantic slave trade and 1492, all these different world events that we have seen, even live events we've seen in our time. See, certain riots and this and Hurricane Katrina and right, George Floyd riots, the CV-19, people just laying it down left and right. So it says, you have seen many evil things already, but far worse things are about to happen. That's the time we in. You see? And going back to Egypt, seeing we in the season of the Passover, Pharaoh and them seen many evil things leading up to the main event. You see, Pharaoh and them seen the water being turned into blood. They seen lice, all the dirt in Egypt turning into to lice. They seen flies covering Egypt, 3 days of darkness, right? All the cattle dying, fire and hell coming from the sky, man. They seen that all the way up to what? They had to witness their newborns dying. Worst thing, look, and that's what the Lord did. As he kept bringing those plagues, they got worse. They got worse. You see? He put a stop to the Egyptian economy, man. It got worse. From now on out, it got worse. And then the last ones who had some fight in them tried to run after us and got drowned in the sea. Far worse things. So what the Lord been doing, people was fearful of CV-19. CV-19 about to be child's play to what the Lord about to, either what the Lord going to do or what he going to allow Esau to bring out a new disease. The point is, that's going to be child's play. Even Bill Gates said it himself. He said, there's new disease that's going to come out. Right, and we played that clip a few times on a Thursday Live. But Bill Gates said this new disease that's going to come out gonna make COVID look like a laughing stock, man. So again, we're in the times where things are about to get worse in the earth. What Yahushua said, let me get this real quick. Matthew 24 and 14. I believe it's 14. Let me see. This is Matthew 24. When they say the love of many shall wax cold. This Matthew 24 and 12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, and when you go into that word iniquity in the blue letter, it's lawlessness. So because lawlessness gonna abound, and we seeing laws being passed for more lawlessness, giving people freedoms to do whatever they want. So because lawlessness, the people will be driven to their wits' end. And like Jerusalem, they say, when you have nothing else to lose, you lose it. What's the it? That's your mind, man. You see? That's the people mind. So going back to this, it says, Matthew 24 and 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. The love of many shall wax cold. Hey, it's going to be in that day, only the strong survive, and really only the spiritually strong going to survive in the times we're entering into. Right? Because one, these are the ones who was covered by the Lord before the destruction came. That, again, going back to last night, that's benefits of honoring the Passover, man. Rehearsing the righteous acts, that's benefits. Because the same benefits are brought to our forefathers, right, in the nation in the past, which allowed them to be passed over and covered from the destruction as it was coming. The same thing is going to happen now, man. People could look at the Passover, holding the Passover as a light thing, but the Lord taking heed to that. It says the Most High ain't unrighteous to forget our works and labor of love. So the point is, as the time getting worse and will get worse, man, it's confident. Hey, that's a confident part to us that, look, hey, we could very well be covered from everything that's about to go on. And that's why we do this. One, Yahweh Bashim Shai got us doing it. But that's what drives us to do this, man. Being protected when all evil break loose. But let's finish this in 2nd Ezra 14, and I'll probably end it. Let's read this again. This 2nd Ezra 14 and verse 15 in the GNT. It says, put all your earthly, So like you put all your anxieties aside and get ready to leave this world quickly. We don't have long left. Again, we can very well be out of here within a year's time or around a year's time, man. It happened in Egypt. They was out of there within a year. Within a year. Again, Moses went to Pharaoh at 80 years old. All those plagues came. We was in the wilderness for 40 years, and he died at 120. 80 plus 40, that's 120. If we was in Egypt more than a year, Moses' age would have been different. 121, 122. No, the Lord brought those plagues, and it happened quick, and guess what? We was out of there. Out of there, man. And did not the Lord say he going to speed up the time for the elect's sake? Let's get that. And I'm going to finish that in 2nd Esdras, and we go end it, Lord. You know if the Lord say the same. This is not 2nd Esdras. This is Mark 13. Mark 13 and 19 is Yahushua speaking. It says, for in those days shall be affliction. And we living in those days. It says, in those days shall there be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which the Most High created unto this time, neither shall be. So what we're about to see haven't happened before. And I mind you, we're in a season to where everything is ready. We ain't waiting on stuff to be created no more. MOTBs in people. They're being advertised in brains, being put in brains. Missiles in the silos. Somebody just pushed a button and it's over. You see? One more catastrophic event could break these people back and have them wild out, man. Again, everything is ready. But it says, verse 20, and it says, and except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. So the Lord will have to shorten the time that we in. That's how bad it's going to be. Think about that. It's going to get so bad in the earth that the Most High going to have to send angels to protect us. That's a Selah moment right there. It's going to get so bad in the earth that the Lord going to have to send angels to protect us, man. That's the times we living in. It ain't a game. And you got Israelites who about to hold their Passover and partying and drinking, think it's a game. All right. The Lord did say he going to start at his house first. Those who know the Israelites. We definitely in that time. Expect things to get worse. I'm talking about the food. Expect a famine to be to get more closer. Whatever may happen with that. They've been burning down food plants. Expect more diseases to come, right? Expect more division to happen in America between gender, right wing, left wing, these different factions, so on and so forth. Expect more to happen, man. Things to increase violence in the land, uproars of the people. And we better believe we got a catastrophic event that's waiting, man, that's pending to change the world. A 9/11 type event, a CV type event, but worse. Let's end it off. See? But this 2nd Esdras, let's read that again. This Mark 13 and 20. And except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he have chosen, he have shortened the days. So the Lord won't have the elect here long, suffering, right? Almost getting caught up. He gonna shorten the time. He gonna shorten the time, man. So again, seeing the Passover, just we in it still, but seeing we honored the Passover last night and the significance of the Passover in the ancient world, if we did these things that we had to do, right, the blood on the doorpost, so on and so forth, we was covered when judgment came. So seeing we had this Passover last night, look, after they ate the Passover, that's when, or while they was eating, that's when the Lord got busy. And at this time, we got signs in the heaven. You about to have an eclipse. I think a blood moon, eclipse, you see, a pure moon, all kind of stuff, man. The Lord is definitely working and speaking in the earth. Expected to get worse now that his followers did what they had to do, leading up to this time, but even last night, honoring Yahushua's sacrifice and going through the spirit and, or the practices of being covered. But let's go back to this in 2nd Esdras 14, and I end it. 2nd Esdras 14 and 15 again in the GNT. Put all your anxieties aside and get ready to leave this world quickly. You have seen many evil things already, But far worse things are about to happen. Far worse things are about to happen. Just like it said in Revelation 7, how, all the Lord needs is his servants to be sealed. Then he going to bring destruction, right? Last night was an example of going through the process of being sealed. The blood on our doorpost. And then now look, the destruction can come. Just like the Lord told Lot in Egypt, hurry up, Lot, get out because I can't destroy it until you leave, until you straight. So we just read the Lord going to shorten the time for the elect. Say, well, look, Lord willing, we're that number. Some members, majority of, a lot of members took part in the Passover. So looking at it as well, look, they covered, they did it. Hey, let's get it. Let's speed things up. So it says you have seen many things. It says you have seen many evil things already, but far worse things are about to happen. As the world grows older and weaker, the evils that will come upon this people will multiply. And that's where we are right now. Evils are about to multiply upon this world, man. You see, but I ended right there. So I want to get a couple thoughts off, concerning last night Passover. Like, look, man, this could very well be the last one. And don't expect that it got to be years for the Lord to work. Again, going back to ancient Egypt, and Lord will not do an actual lesson on that. But going back to the ancient Egypt, we was out of there within a year. From the time Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh until the time we walked out of there with the Egyptians, gold and silver, was within the year, man. So look, things can move quick. But I'm going to end it right there, Lord willing. This lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Chakodash. And with that, Shalom.